Hello again. This is the Watering Man. Now this is, hang on just a minute. This is video number 938. Now I wanted to have a little brief discussion on Matthew chapter 12, verse 38 through 42. Okay? Now at the top of the King James Version on this little passage, it says, the desire for signs. And in the New King James, it says, the scribes and Pharisees ask for signs. Okay? Remember, the scribes is as ones that want to add their own stuff. Huh? They want to add their own red dog thinking, their own humanistic thinking, their own antichrist thinking to it, whether it's good or bad. That's a good way. You better go this way. And they're shooting themselves in the foot spiritually. You can't get back to God doing that. Okay? And the Pharisees is the ones that's polishing the outside of their cup, putting on a facade, an act. Stage performers are hypocrites. Huh? They're polishing the outside of their act. They're putting on a good show outside. Look at me, how great I am. And inside's full of all kinds of dead man's bones. They even got a phylactery, little leather necklace thing with a box in front of it. It's got the scriptures in it. That they're twisting to their own destruction. And inside they're not dealing in it. They're putting on a facade of how great and pious they are, like God they are. But inside, all kinds of dead man's bones, all kinds of carnality, red dog manure thinking. That's all the way around, all those little spots, the little balls in their mind. Not just the brain. Not a tangible thing. And inside it's got the little seed of Christ in there. And they're not doing anything to agree with God and lay this stuff down. They're trying to boast in this stuff. And it's just wiping poop all over the outside. It's not going to get it done. Okay? Now those cats were asking Jesus. This is kind of some response here Jesus is giving them. Okay? Now, I'm going to read both out of the King James and the New King James. I'm not going to break it all down, but I'm going to give you just a little talk about it. Because I'm going to cover several verses, and I'm not going to have enough time to do that as thoroughly as I'd like to. Oops, I didn't. I'm not recording it on here. I forgot. But I'll get it on this audio, okay? Let me just... Okay, I'll start it up from here. Okay? Now, let's go with the King James first. Verse 38. Then certain of the scribes and Pharisees answered, saying, Master, we would see a sign from thee. Okay? The New King James says, then some of the scribes and Pharisees, which I did a little bit of talking about that. I've done whole videos on like the Pharisees stuff, man. They're nasty. Yuck. And there's modern day Pharisees. Make sure you're not slipping into being a modern day Pharisee. Oh man. When you're double minded like this, God's saying that's not right. You're kind of practicing being a scribe, putting your own 2 cents in of this crap, good and evil, religious works, or maybe like, I'll do anything. I need that tangible, provable, reproducible proof, that sign, so I can believe it. Good and evil. It's manure. Lord of the Fly thinking. Yuck. But I'll exercise in this red dog, but I won't exercise in Christ. Exercise in the Antichrist. I might say I'm an atheist or an agnostic. Anything but deny God. Or maybe they're saying, I'm just so callous down. Not really saying that, but that's what they're doing. Their actions I'm so callous down, I bleed this way all my life. So I'll eat good and bad, you're going to hell, you are. Throwing rocks, spitting, sputtering, pointing the finger, blaming any little inconsistencies on the devil made me do it. Not that taking it all, that it's their dumbass thinking in here. They're a mute donkey, a mute beast nature, antichrist thinking. The red Adamic ways that they're feeding from, that tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Same stuff. It's poop. I count it all as dung for winning Christ. It's the heart of man. It's deceitful. It's desperately wicked and evil above all things. Right? It's filthy, mistress, stinking rags. Huh? Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all the earth shall take care of itself. Lay this stuff down. I surrender it all. Be a poor widow woman and give up on this stuff. And each thing God will take care of it, okay? Now, these scribes and Pharisees are doing this. I'm trying to call it God, but it's not. And there's modern day scribes and Pharisees. Oh, man. It's not just a person. Stop. Be careful. It's not you. If you're believing that way and practicing it habitually, you're going to go down your own pooper. Swirly time. Oh, no, not again. Bop, bop, bop. I trusted this dog and it wasn't my friend. I must have been infatuated. And it's in this ball. Little tiny ball. Ball, it's been ball, it's been ball. Way down. Way past any natural realm. Just like the singularity in a black hole. They don't know what happens when it gets past that accretion disk. They come up with all kinds of things. But oh no, we won't. It can't be God. The self-existent one, that we have to exist all 3 days, 3 ages in our earth to transform this 666 nature in our mind, in our hand, our works, our mind, our thought processes, our forehead, and this phylactery stuff. Get rid of that junk. Get it in there like God did to change it. Drop this stuff while it's hot, like it's a hot potato, and God will sap it out. Now, let's see, in the King James Version, then certain of the scribes and Pharisees, and of the Pharisees, answered Jesus, saying, Master, we want to see a sign from thee, okay? The New King James, then some of the scribes and Pharisees answered, saying, Teacher, we want to see a sign from you, okay? Now, I'm going to look up this, I want to show you this sign. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but that sign is basically like a tangible, provable proof, so we know. That's just Red Dog saying, I gotta have some, whenever I want my seeing, hearing, taste, touch, and smell has to have some tangible log in it before I'll believe it. You got a log in your eye. Remove that thing. Lay it down there. Prostate. Proskuneo. As a dog licking its master's hand. The works of God. Laying out flat. Prostate. On your belly. Inside in your spirit. In each little ball. Your big ball of mind. Down to a single thought process. Blow it up. All the way down to another little one. Tiny, tiny, tiny. And then inside that is all this, like 1 to 30, negative, 1 with 35 zeros after it, -1. And oh my goodness. Some of the scientists were saying that it's like the whole universe of 93 billion light years in the universe, being like a big ball. And this one little 1e to negative 35, right, like a 1, draw a line over, make a fraction out of it, 35, 1 with 35 zeros after it. It's like one little tree out of the whole universe. It's surprised all this nasty stuff, this whole universe, and it's in each little ball. Each is against God, enmity, directly opposed. But there's a seed of Christ in there that he breathed into you. Formed you out of the clay of the dust of the earth. and breathe his spirit in each little ball down in there. Planted it like in your garden. Now you got to exercise this seed, germinate it. In these storms, he's giving you opportunity to. Trust in him, lay down this stuff. Don't try to fight for a right to do none of this. Eat this bulldog crap, good and evil crap. I need some tangible, provable points. You're not exercising your faith in God, you're exercising it in this. And you can't drive out the Lord of the Fly poop thinking with Lord of the Fly poop thinking. You can't drive out this Antichrist, opposed to Christ thinking with opposed to Christ thinking. Anything but being in hot pursuit of Christ. Yahweh's salvation. Jesus, right? Jesus, I-S-O-U-S, number 2424. Yahweh's salvation, not Jehovah. You got to break it down. Take out the vowels. How long it is to delay it. Right now. You're not paying, so I'll pay you Tuesday, I'll pay you later down the road for an increase right now. God said, nope, that doesn't qualify. Right now. Agree. Emphatically. With all your heart, lay down this stuff. Everything in this little bitty spot that I'm showing you is messed up. Bringing up these storms. Lay it down and agree. Emphatically, in hot pursuit, hear it intelligently, intend to respond positively, obey God, and have gratitude, and God will give the increase. When you qualify, zap! He'll zap it out. Let there be light. He'll increase you. Only God can do that. Not this red dog, okay? This red dog wants a sign. This sign is this, let me get down here to it. I'm just going to do a little kind of synopsis type thing. Okay, it's a sign, comes from 4592. It's S-E-M-E-I-O-N. This word. Let me make sure it's turned up. Yep.
Strong's G, 4592, Semayon.
Okay. Oh, I got urged to just go through all this, but it'd take multiple recordings. Okay, and we're still back in John chapter 4, okay? So, I'm just wanting to hit this something, okay? This Semayon, okay? It's a neuter noun. And it's a derivative of 4591, okay? Now, here's some of the things it says about a sign, a mark, a token. It's speaking, it wants some, let's see. Okay, of miracles and wonders by which God authenticates that men sent by him, or which men prove that the cause they are pleading is God's. Don't need no proof. You don't need to prove nothing to that dog thinking in you. If you do that, you're not exercising faith in God. You're exercising faith in this. Throwing a hand back on somebody. Poop thinking. You're relying upon your own horse nature. I saw it with my own eyes. Right there, big old log. And your brain fills in something. If it sees something, when you look at something, you're just looking at a small area. And then your brain's the rest of it's kind of blurry, but it's taking it, filling in the blanks and making it. It can mess it up. It can give it, that's how kind of, like magicians do, like illusions and stuff, make you think you see something that's not really there. Or that, ooh, it's magic. Uh-oh, it's magic. Cock-a-booey. I pulled this rabbit out of the hat. Or pulled it out of the sock. Pulled it out of thin air. They didn't either, they just tricked you. It's just a way that Jacob nature, kill grabber, trickster, conniver, manipulator. Your Carl Wine's really good at it. all this manure stuff around you. Manure, don't trust it. Trust God. You got to exercise your faith in God. Huh? Don't believe it's other stuff. Okay? Now, if you get down here, in the Strong's it says, an indication, especially ceremonial or supernatural. They want something supernatural, man. They got his arm missing, or he can't walk all. Here, make him get up and. No. When God's saying you're walking again, now He's talking about you're able to live it out back into Him. Do this and you can walk, live. A little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit higher, greater in God's character. Your ability to love God as He first loved you increases. This stuff won't increase at all. He believes He wants to boast. Man, did you see that? Big spectacle right there, man. That was crazy. Now we're Dog Planet. Man. Like them dudes outside the fiery furnace, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Speaking of your 3 days, your 3 ages in this earth. In the fiery furnace, where God's purifying you, pour. P-Y-R, right? Where they get the word pyromaniac. It's speaking of fire or fever. God's bringing up that fever, that fire in you so that you can greenlight God. Lay this stuff down, greenlight God with everything you got, and He'll zap it out and bring you up higher. Not so He'll destroy you, He'll condemn you. That's just double-minded stuff. Ew, nasty. Okay? It seeks for a sign. It wants to see it it perceive it with any of its seeing, hearing, taste, touch, and smell. It wants to see it with this red dog. What's it say? Now, it says right here. I read the first verse. Let's read this second one. Verse 29. Or 39, I'm sorry. I looked at it wrong. Matthew 12:39. King James Version. But He answered, Jesus answered, and said unto them, An evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given except the sign of Jonah the prophet Jonas. Okay, New King James. But he answered and said to them, An evil and adulterous generation seeks after a sign, and no sign will be given except the sign of Jonah, of the prophet Jonah. Okay, now let's look at this. Break it down just a little bit for you. Okay, now this adulterous generation. First of all, adulterous, when you're in this sign, in the natural adultery, speaking about like two married people being unfaithful, like a wife being unfaithful to her husband, or a husband being unfaithful to his wife. Now, are we not marrying God? When we lay this stuff down, God's increasing us in each thought process, each little tiny little speck inside the thought process, right? And He's bringing us up and giving us a racham. So let's just say racham, the ability to love God as He first loved you, and to meet His child. And it is inexhaustible love that's beyond the mere description of words. A boom, nuclear fusion, coming into a marriage supper of the Lamb. Boom, a new ball. It's like pure love, the fruit of the Spirit. With all that love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, and temperance, which doesn't have any of this law of 666. Over 600 rules and regulations you gotta live by, or it's gonna stone you to death and condemn you. Right? Oh, get rid of that poop. Zap it out. Finish him. Right? All that stuff. And bringing you up into this new marriage. Now, adultery, spiritually, will be when you exercise faith in this thing. I need tangible proof, or man-made religious stuff. Not true love. Not coming to the truth of God. You're coming to this good and evil stuff. I gotta work, do. Quit working in this stuff. Quit trying to make red bricks for this thing. Ooh, yuck. Lay it down. and let God, the battle is the Lord's, come up in him. Have faith. Exercise your faith in God. E-N. So you can come up E-N and S-Y in God. E-N. That's N, I-N, with relation to rest in God, and S-Y-N, in union with God, right? Metanoia. Appa, ek, ice, pros, pro, to the E and S-Y in God, right? All right. I'm not even going to tell you all that, right? What those mean right now. You probably should know by now. Okay? So we zap this stuff out. Zap. God's doing it. Not you. You're laying it down. Proskuneo. Okay? Now, so an evil and adulteress. It's one that believe their own bullcrap thinking. The illusion of their own mind. All this temporary stuff is what it's all about. No, it's not. Shut that dog up. Sock and duct tape. Be still. Put a muzzle on it. That's what be still means. You sock and duct tape. I'll muzzle you, dog. Your own carnal red dog thinking. Antichrist thinking. Ooh, good and evil. All that stuff. Filthy mistress thinking rags. Come back to God. Bop! Okay? Now, adulterers, and generation is an age or an era, it's like the time right now. So, an evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign. There's tangible proof. Or doing it their own good or evil. We'll condemn it, we'll help you. No. God don't need your help. Come on, man. The omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent, sovereign king needs to just agree with him. Be reasonable, sit his way. The battle is the Lord's. He's your Savior. You're not saving yourself. Give that stuff up. Surrender it all like the poor widow woman. Give it all. Give her 2 mites. Zap. She gave all these things over here, taking time, working it out, giving you all kinds of big stuff. Poop thinks what they're giving you. And that's in your own mind. Not a devil out there. Don't need no scapegoat. Or point your finger at somebody else. They made me do it. No, they didn't. Lay down. Take some responsibility. Be like a man or a woman. Grow up. Okay? Now, it says, but he answered and said unto them, an evil and adulterous generation seeks for a sign. They want that tangible, provable proof. Reproducible stuff, right? What they think. And there shall no sign, nada, sign be given to it, to that evil, adulterous generation. And there shall be no sign given to it, but the sign of prophet Jonas. God told him, go to Nineveh and give my word. Nineveh, speak about your old carnal mind. And it was a great city. Man, it's all kinds of messed up. It's guarded city. And it took 3 days to walk across that city. It's speaking of your old carnal mind. Your old mind. Taking you 3 days. Speaking of those 3 days in your lifetime. All 3 days. 3 ages in your lifetime. All the days of your life. To just walk, to live it, go across it. And telling Jonah the dove to go give a word in your mind first. Put ye on the mind of Christ, not this dog. And then Jonah, it was the greatest revival when he did that. Oh my. But if you don't do it, woo. Okay, we're going to get there. Okay? Now, verse 40. I got to kind of hurry up so I can get through this. For as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, in that great fish, okay? Doesn't actually say well, okay? It's a great fish, okay? So shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. The heart of your earth, your field. What are you made out of? The dust of the earth. and he breathed his spirit. Dust, planets in each one of the little tiny spheres, little balls. Planted a seed in each. It's a garden. It says, as Jonah was in the 3 days, 3 nights, the 3 days of 3 ages, nighttime coming through all the time of ignorance, and the daytime when it's heated up, skim it off. And you agree. It's ages through your whole time of living. And look, it says the Son of Man. Jesus, how many days was he in the belly of the earth in the tomb? 3 days, and he resurrected. He came back to life. On the 3rd day, he was perfected. He was resurrected. How are we doing it? Same way. Okay? In the heart of the earth, right in your mind. The way you think in every little sphere, every little ball, inside the balls, all that. God's doing it. But if you feed this way, you're going to reap what you sow. Sow to the flesh, you reap destruction, corruption, poop thinking. Sow to the spirit, you reap the fullness of life in God. And it grows. From the tiny seed to 1 to 2 to 4 to 8, it grows, increases. Your ego must decrease and God must increase. And it does that. He's purifying it. Change my heart, oh God. Make it ever new. Just like you. Change my heart, oh God. Whoa. May I be just like you. Boom. Charm means child. Way to love God and increasing. The ability to love God as He first loved you, and the way God loves you. Beyond the mere description of words. Not a messed up mad scientist, and it's all mixed up, double-minded, unstable in all its ways. God loves you, but He's going to torment you worse than Hitler. Forever and ever, infinity plus infinity. Plumb stupid. And if anything gets in your way, you can blame this devil. Get dog. How? You want to stay dark, ignorant, double-minded? Keep feeding that stuff then. And that dust shall judge you. Shall give you an adverse sentence, because you're doing it to yourself. You're believing. You're feeding on, you're eating out of your own dust nature, your own antichrist thinking, your own tree of knowledge of good and evil. So turn and come back to God. Do a 180-degree about face and go but God. Separate from this stuff. Apa. Divorce it. Ek. Come from all of it. Ice. Go towards and into God. Go pros. Go to your advantage. Go this way. Go the pro way. Come back to in God. In this way in God. Okay? Nuclear fission, nuclear fusion. Okay? Now, go on here. The men of Nineveh, that old carnal mind, a guarded, grouchy bear syndrome, all this dust thinking, all this bullcrap, this antichrist, don't listen to that still small voice, hammer it down. We're the majority, we're the rightful king. That's your own stinking thinking. Not some devil, no demon. That's this crap. It's your own stinking thinking. God's offering to circumcise the foreskin of your heart. To chop it out, skin it out. Will, hiya! And bring you back into existence. 1961. Hiya! Come into existence. Now, the man of Nineveh shall rise in judgment with this generation, with this age. This way of thinking here. It's an adverse sentence. Don't partake in that thing. That dust that you're doing. If they won't believe what you say, stomp the dust off your feet and walk out. Go God's way. You keep doing what God does. Seek ye first the kingdom of God. Christ. Not this way, okay? Because they repented at the preaching of Jonah. And behold, a greater than Jonah is here. Jesus, the Christ, Yahweh of salvation. Since I agree with Christ, not Antichrist. Okay, I'm going to read the last verse. The queen of the south shall rise up in judgment with this generation. The queen of the south is your uncomfortable. So, well, that'll make me uncomfortable. If I do this, if I go this way, I'll be uncomfortable. I want to stay in this bed of roses. I want it my way in this storms of life. That won't get you there. That poop stuff tastes good in your mouth, make you sicker than a dog in your stomach. Go God's way, okay? Shall rise up in judgment. That's an adverse sentence. With this generation, this age. And shall condemn it. Give it an adverse sentence. Okay? For she came to the uttermost parts of the earth, your earth, here to hear the wisdom of Solomon. And behold, a greater than Solomon is here. Now, what Solomon say? Go read Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 7, chapter 6, verse 6, and chapter 3, verse 20. When we die, don't we all go to one place? Though a man lived 2,000 years, twice told, missing. Don't we all go to one place? Just read them, study them. Have a great day. Hit like, subscribe, and I'm going to carry on. Thank you. Have a great day. Okay, give me uplifting comments. Amen.